Good evening, or whatever it is, wherever you are. I've been running the updates on my local server, and it's looking pretty nice. We just have to port the code over to the setup that I'm using to run the stuff on a server that's actually running without my involvement. I should probably try to unify some of that at some point, although one of them ends up kind of being my experimental test bed for new stuff, and the other one is what we run for real. I also noticed that I had some things in the JavaScript where we don't have the biomes on by default, so we have to check our default settings here. That will be the front end, which will follow on all the data, however. So I can kind of difference check this visually. I might want to do a source review as well. Let's check it in this. And then, since I included the static search update times in the main search index, that may have been an error. Because now I can't just copy a file that's when I processed it locally. We have the timestamps for the two different systems for my local files mixed in there, and that may have happened at different times relative to when the files were published and or processed on the main server, which I've had issues with that, causing things to reprocess before. So we may have to put a little time. We may have to do a little timestamp fix-up task to just go into our live version of the data and fix it up. I mean, alternately, I could download that and have a little one-off program to do it and put it back. But fix-ups is what I've done before. Now, so like I said, I don't think anything here is going to be relevant in our task version of this. I mean, we're really just saying where we're writing stuff or where we're outputting stuff. And we've got a different timestamp fix-up, so this will have to be a brand new task, but I don't think that's going to change anything. So we set up our file systems, fetching the raw data. Maybe how I check some of this stuff could be an issue. So load collection, that's the objects. Oh, we're going to have a new, this is one of the differences. We have a new little file collection here. All right, so first of all, let's see, double check I don't usually run the local processing version of this. Okay, just your cache location, local output dir, which should be the same as that, I believe. If this did something, it might kind of write some different data because it doesn't have the... Well, no, actually, the processor that it would call for that is actually from here. But it should be the case. And actually, I think I'm going to have to do... All right, so do we have anything going on here? So you may have already picked up an update at some point. We'll just go ahead and put this on a branch too, just in case. It should be a pretty small excursion. And then check it. Oh, no, because we're on a branch. Well, we're just about ready to wrap this up. I'll still be able to get a reference to master because that's where the GitHub is. No, that will actually update things. We just want to have it refresh the Git pointer so that it doesn't complain about it being wrong. This is usually a pretty fast operation. Is it checking my, this doesn't have the map data in it. Maybe it's examining the entire family trees repository, which does have data in it. Also, given where my code windows are, it might be better to have these here and here. What the heck? Well, that's being ridiculous. We have to make a few changes before we've tested the current case. All right. So this is objects equal. And we're passing that to, because that's passing that to a different function. So this is going to be, okay, these are not tabs. We can't go back and forth. There's our no object data. I've dealt with cases where object data wasn't available. I haven't really dealt with cases where notable isn't available. I have not published that file either. Did you... No, you don't have a go live checklist. So we need to copy new data sets. We need to copy notable object list. We need to fix up static timestamps. And then it would be undo tweaks to front end. And copy, fix up timestamps. Fix up static timestamps, update server, update front end. Are you done yet? Are you actually doing anything? Sometimes the foreman commands, yeah. Sometimes the foreman commands just don't do anything. So this seems to apply to anything. All right, well now I started modifying the code. Oh. Save, please. Okay, so you're you, you're you. So if we run this, we really shouldn't have anything happen. So we want to use some of the environment variables that are available. Which is find like our local file system directory and stuff. Okay. It is indeed currently an OOP. We have a file system available. The load server does have to get two things now. It was just an extra sort of variable floating around here. And we also have a new output object type. All right, path. Oh, did I define a path for you? Yeah, I kind of did, even though it's not very much. This is why we might need to review source differences. List, updated finals, final placements. All right, you didn't mention it, you didn't mention it, you didn't mention it. You are a brand new thing. Okay, object search path, file system we have, objects we have, notable we have. And then probably everything from here on out, yeah, is this, and the rest is inside our other step. Okay, we've got the file copy. We've got that's the file copy. And this should still be a no-up because we've done everything already. And yeah, this does the timestamp fix-ups elsewhere. And that's the whole fix-up process. Okay. Still no up. Oh, these things had themselves. Let's see. Do I need to fix up the item by item search? It's just final placements. Timestamp fix up. Processed. Oh, well, I updated this so it would update. Log file. If not valid at, update it. That's only checking time, so actually this is kind of not correct. And actually I think the way this is written is it doesn't do anything unless it needs to do something. It only says, well, if it would have updated, then just make it now and that'll be after the time. So actually I think that this, and that should apply to maplog fix-up too, huh? Well, at worst, it resets the process time to now. Fixing up the entry for logfile.path. Fix up. This is the static image. This is the static search. The way this is set up right now is we run all the fix-ups if we run them. And we do not have a fix-up stop stage for the brand new step. Now, we do actually expect this to do nothing locally, which is kind of what we want. I guess the problem is we would need that final, because this is a thing that might not exist, and we saw that 0 is not necessarily, or null is not necessarily comparable. Although I guess we could handle that in cache valid at too. Although, is that in... No, I think that is cache valid at... rather than doing it 3 times. Do I have a proc file for that? Map logs timestamp fix-up test. And then this is so I can get my environment variables on Heroku. We just run the Rails command. Actually, map logs timestamp fix-up test. File.dev. Profile. Okay. All the timestamps appear to be fine. I think that will work. I mean, it ran through the code. We haven't tested the thing like that's kind of inside the execution block. But we really just need to add that timestamp. Let's see, that did current time. Oh, it just sets it to the log file time, which is good enough. If the log file happened a little bit later than we thought our old processing was at. Okay, so we're gonna have one more commit on this repo. Oh, part of our deploy is we have to push family trees so that it can be used by the server. Fix up timestamps. That actually has to be post deploy now. So this is going to be Heroku. Maplogs.rake. Timestamp fixup. Maplogs timestamp fixup. And see actual processing run. So I'm gonna have to wait a little bit, but I mean, or I could just monitor in it. We should have the data there. Oh, so the other thing is that I haven't actually tested this version of it at all. Because I would need to do a new, well, we can do some redundant processing. That won't kill us. Okay, so today's file. And then, wait. Yeah, maplog is a regular log. Key place is, yeah, time objects. So this should be today's file. That works. Act map is fine, that's what it was. Seeds and spans, I mean, technically those wouldn't exist, but I think it should go off of these. Okay, data server. We're not going to be testing timestamp fixup per se. I could remove the object time from one of them if I need, from one entry if I needed to. Oh. Uninitialized constant import maplogs notable objects. Ah, now you see, this is why we test things. We do indeed need to import that. We did not hit the code that dealt with that previously. Okay, in where? Oh, because the line I copied, I had globally imported it. And does that also, oh, you know what? That's going to be this thing too. what? Oh, we did that a little bit different. So, server code. Here, it's just server ID. Well, we touched a lot of types of objects today, last 24 hours. Right, so static image and final number of objects. I think the reason this is lower is because there are a lot of objects that are used transitively that are almost never left on the map, such as the different types of stakes that you cycle through. Although that actually makes me wonder about something. Did I miss application of written stuff? No, there's no weird numbers in there. And you have notable. Well, we already saw that in the map. Okay, I think that's all the code changes. So actually, this step will end up getting moved up just because that's something I can do now. Whereas, well, I can start making a script to copy the stuff and maybe even start it going. I seem to remember making a script to do that for the activity map stuff. Oh, we have to remember to get notable too. Where did I put that? I guess it wouldn't necessarily be in here. Because this is all kind of tends to be a part of the repository. So would that be in you? Yeah, that would be in you. So that is doing a directory. So for each of those directories, put these subdirectories. And what's going to be the directory? So that's not going to tell us much. I can put this back so we get a one-off test. Oh, no. This is indeed this script. So we need key search, we need log search, and we need notable.txt. Notable.txt, which doesn't technically need a recursive. That actually is just a file. Actually, I guess we could even start here for the very, very first bit of this. And actually, and plus there's and this is just kind of a manual thing. I don't know if I kind of wish I had a better place for that, but S3 command put data. Is it not notable? 1 hour on life. And that's what we're doing. Yes. Data to. No, it dropped the first path. Now you see, I thought by going down here. So I guess it's just the last element of whatever it was. Nope. That put it as a file, which hopefully that didn't. Now you see, now I don't know what data is. That says data is a directory. Is there anything else in there? Okay, I think it's both a file and a directory. Yeah, that's... Oh, yep, it's a directory and a file. Well, if I can write to it, hopefully I can remove just this, right? Yes, okay. And if I do that, do I get the contents of it? Yes, okay, so that has that. What does that mean for this? File name, notable.txt. File name / yes, so we're repeating this part in order to get it in there. Let's see, so this was from you. Oh, no, not from you. Here's the database server. And okay, that seems reasonable. Got some slash direction conflicts. Okay, so that has 507 things in that directory, and many of these are going to be much more. Even log search tends to have, yeah, 689, a few more objects. Some of those intermediate states. All right, I think that looks successful. It'll be a little bit redundant in the first one, but that was a nice way to not have it go too crazy if things were off. So I can pretty much just leave that going. All right, so copy. So we've done this. We are doing that. We think this code is pretty good. Well, I don't want to update the server and do this. And technically, this thing is referencing master, although it's referencing it by a key. So actually, it probably can reference that commit and be okay. I can go ahead and do the commits. Oh, I used this console. Like, oh yeah, we can just use that. Oh, I put those in as debugging comments. I guess I never ended up quite testing that. I tested that it didn't do anything. I didn't test that it did something. So, pill. So let's pick on one entry once again and say, what if, oop, I said, you're not the last one. What if you didn't have that? And somewhere in here, we've got a timestamp fix-up. Yep, so it fixed up one entry. It ended up in a slightly different object order. It doesn't affect the meaning of it. Output matplotlog. Yeah, I got the R0. That's all or zeros. Timestamp, fix up tweaks. All right, and then we want to update your little dependency reference. Okay, so there's that. There is, yeah, that reference. We got all the new code there. We do have notes in here, which is, maybe inconvenient in this case. Maybe I could just put you into a different list. And then just not add that file. So that is ongoing. And actually, I should probably, I feel I could leave it on, but if I could have this kind of in the corner of my eye here, might be good. Make sure things are still running. Hey, thanks. How's it going? All right, so you are committed. I think you can be pretty much published. So that takes care of this step. We can prepare as a text, garbage file, that, and changes to here. Just double check this. Add calls to search index processing. So that should be just about ready to go, although it has to get merged back to master, but the branch has been going pretty good so far. So this depends on the data files. So while that's running, let's see. I did make this, not you. This was the server I was running. I guess I don't really need that server for much. For this guy. And I know at least this thing used to be on by default. Oh, and I've still got checker in here. I probably need to review changes to that file. Those are the things that are jumping out offhand. Yeah, fix defaults in JS. So checker. I sometimes wonder if there should be like some not very obvious way to turn on some of these little debug layer things. Okay, not on by default. That's fine. And probably this is where biomes get turned on by default. Oh, did I kill ARM reactor? Database system. That's that. No, that's supposed to be there. What do we break here? Base.biome is that? Oh, that might be a different layer. So, well, I'll be able to show it to you better in a minute. I have the map of 1 hour 1 life, and I've been adding a new data set that allows you to search for objects even at high zoom scales. Where'd my window go? All right, so it's not, oh, maybe I didn't add, no. What's your problem? Base.biome is undefined. Okay, so it's like recasting this thing. What? I don't even have the control. Oh, well, it was complaining that we tried to do this. Okay, so everything else is working. So one of the things we're getting is the notable objects, which kind of gives you a little bit of sense of the technology level. I've also, these things used to be just generic pins. And I used that same, use the graphic thing. So we've got notable objects, and if we go to object search, now I used to have a version of this using local data, which could operate when things were visible here. Now we can zoom way back and say, where are all the delivery trucks? And people have lost a few of them. Oh, and there's the pointer I used to be using. Of course, you don't have a lot of context for. Actually, some of these might be in the old map area if they haven't been erased yet. You don't have a lot of context for where that is when you zoom in like that. This? Nope, this is still around. Oh, wait, yeah, because none of those old tiles got touched. This is only stuff that got touched in the last update. You could still scroll around the map to find the other ones, but they don't get loaded into memory, so they don't get indexed. Now, biomes appears to me that it should exist. Why are you saying? Well, also, I guess, let's see. So did I do this as biome? Oh, biomes. What happened to you? Bumped a character somewhere. Oh, nope, still not happy. Base.biomes is undefined. Oh, no, this is base. We haven't had base in a long time. This is it's technically called an overlay because because base is radio buttons and overlays are checkboxes. And we're kind of using a fake overlay to do the biomes. Now there is no biomes here. But if we were to go back into a time when there was, it should actually show up. All right, so checker is gone. Special placements is it really only relevant to certain time periods? That's a, maybe I should almost move into like a extra special thing. Oop. Rift is kind of only relevant to certain time periods too. So I think that's all the things I tweaked. It might be worth a review. It's one of those cases where we're just kind of stuck with this object. I swear to this last time. All right, so on search index, which has been a long branch, it's just a lot of stuff going on. So this is where we've likely done a few things. Yeah, turn on checker. I mean, a lot of these, well, not necessarily dealing with this layer in all the updates. Or with this file. Overlays biomes. Actually, this first one is probably going to have most of that stuff. And those are the only things I've noticed so far. Okay, so I see a lot of development to get this up. And then we flip over to the other side. Okay, you're a quick little update. Where you are interactions. Adding that new overlay, which is functioning correctly right now. The icon update. This is not checked into index, which is what we're looking at right now, so I think that's good. Now you're the map. Do we have the map up somewhere, or do we just have the reactor up somewhere? We're in the public directory. And that is the note to do exactly that. And then all this is going to be done. We've got a default position. This is a feature for later. That might even be below there. Dun 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 dun. Restore dev just changes. So you should be pretty much ready to go. All right, so that might put us already all the way already to just waiting on the file uploads, which I knew this wasn't going to be a huge chunk of work, which is why I thought I could do it in an evening here. So it definitely took less than a day to process that data. That might bode well for the upload speed as well. It's certainly going to take probably longer than I would want to stream, even if I was just going to go as long as we could. I'm just trying to think if there's any other fix-up stuff we need to do here. And I guess I could go in and see if there's any little features we can add on to the release. PL 17. So we are currently at 1564, which, yeah, so the upload might take a bit longer than processing. 1564811, yeah. So we're currently, well, date modified of this doesn't really tell us. Doesn't really give us a good sense of when that came from because we've updated everything recently. I mean, I could go do that date translation to kind of get a sense of how far up it is, but it's gonna be a long time. This is probably an overnighter. Oh. Upload log search processed, which is a thing we could just pretty much do right now. We're going to fix up the other one. Let's see, family trees. Yeah, we're basically in here. And you are you in 17? CD. We still kind of have to reference the path anyway. Put, and I don't know, hopefully we can do this in parallel. Processed log search. To PL 17. Okay, didn't seem to complain about extra uploads. You can probably even get parallel uploaders because I think a lot of this is just the transaction turnaround time to upload, confirmed, okay, done, make a new connection, push it. Let's see. I don't know if we got a lot of time tonight. This is a little bit of a research, but if I can't solve it tonight, it's also going to be a. It could be. I think it could be a little bit of a large problem to load into your head. Object search as images could be making an entire new layer. Or to do it as I'm doing it now would mean turning them into leaflet markers. which is not performant at large quantities. The whole idea was it would be an option, and you probably wouldn't want to choose it for large things. I guess it could kind of take over the notable layer and like internally translate it into like marker layer. Well, we've got a layer for object search. I can probably make the layer group that would have a marker layer in it. In order to do that, we would need to have some kind of message for. So we just display these IDs, or maybe we update the message to have a point IDs and a marker IDs or something. Well, no. UI-wise, it's probably better to have a single option, but if you have multiple levels of things selected, well, I guess maybe that's on you. Only do it for reasonable searches. And I'm not actually sure what the cutoff for reasonable is. Object search by ID is actually probably trivial. Player search by ID might require server support. This could be a quick one, though. No, actually, this is that code. This is going to be map UI when we get life typing, object typing. That's our search term. Update object search. Object search term. Then, okay, then we're just nothing. Get the object index. String contains lower name. We'd need a little fork here somewhere. So this is getting an object index. So that is a list.folder. So that means it is a list. We don't have an index by name because we expected to be searching it by name. So it's not like it's going to be an immediate lookup, even though it's just going to be, and there's an ID. I don't necessarily want to be making the determination of is it a number or not every time. How do we determine if it's a number or not? That actually might be harder than you'd think. Elm does not like to throw around regexes. We could try to convert it to a number, but I guess we can convert it to a number and then convert it back and see if it's the same string. Because you can't have extra stuff. This is going to be core. What does toInt do for us? Failing on improperly formatted examples say that trailing characters will fail. Maybe thinking of Ruby, they'll just take the first number of characters. So that ends up being basically this function. That was a folder with a blank. This is a function. So this is our test equals, so we've got string.fromInt on, I mean, the two lower actually wouldn't matter. And then you're a maybe, where we probably just want to case this because we're doing two very different things. Now, yeah, just object ID. Well, just number, I guess. And then we're going to treat that as an ID. Then we do something, and if it's nothing, whoop. Then it's that function, else it's, maybe I'll still need parentheses here, I'm not sure. If ID equals number. Basically, it's just saying that if it's an actual object. Now, I haven't started up a compiler yet, because I wasn't originally doing a whole lot with this. Okay, I did not like that. Oh, I must have done... Yeah, this is 2int. You're not all 40. You have the string 40 in you, which tells me that it didn't hit that case. Now, interestingly enough, number is a thing you could search for. So what are we getting here? Oh, didn't actually use the function. Tends to help. Oh, that didn't replace nearly as much as I thought it would. Oh, because it just went to the next parenthesis. It doesn't actually do... Huh, I thought it was smarter than that. I guess most things are like quotes that don't have intermediate quotes in them. Wild carrot. Now, that's only useful if you happen to be looking at one tech or something and you say, oh yeah, that's exactly the item I want. But when I was testing various objects, I would sometimes went, yeah, I want exactly this thing, or oh, I saw this number show up in the logs. What was that? So that's kind of an obscure little almost Easter egg feature, but it's something that I thought would be handy at some point. No, that's you. Now, did I take... I think I took one of my windows for the compiler or something. Did I? I've got a lot of windows. Let's see, we're just kind of doing stuff with you. Oh, I took it for this. It might actually support search by ID. It would just be a matter of making Elm, or rather the server might. So if we do a life search, oop, that's an N. I probably still get it. Yep, Boston is a name. That's been the first one since 2018. And it's just Q equals. Can I go straight to the server on that one? I probably do have a better sense than that. So, lineage. Actually, lineage is the ID for an Eve. Actually, I should do this in a different. I've already kind of ruined this one. I see. I just copied the ID. So it's like, give me the ID. This might actually be a thing that just works in the server. No, okay. So Q is pretty much doing name right now. Could we recognize that and give it a different query? Yes, we could. Timestamp fixed up. You were in the wrong window. Not notes. This is map UI. This is going to be life typing. Right, you activate on like a carriage return. So perform life search. Life search term. Well, I mean, this is the request. I might actually want to do the determination and then do some sub stuff here. This really comes down to one entry, though. We could just return that. Life search parameter. Is a string to a... But what is that? That'll be a parser query. Query string is a URL.query parameter? Or a term. And let's just do this for a quick type check. Okay, that is in fact the correct type name. So that would basically do what we did before. String dot from int to int. To int term of just a number. Then, well, it's nothing. It's just going to be what it was. URL. Do we have a URL like URL int? Yeah. URL.int player ID. number. And then we swap this in. Oop. What do we do? Ah. I probably could have done a redo on that. Compiler is not happy. Oh, because we have to give it the parameter. How about that? Of course, now we have to get the ID. Okay. So if you're looking at a... I guess we can act... I can actually put that into the help for the other one, too. Too many windows. No, you're not maplog. View. Hash. Character name, hash, or ID. That will return it across multiple servers, I believe. Okay, yeah, that's just appearance. Is that nice for a comma, or maybe that's an and? Can we also do, because this says object name, object space name. We can actually put something, you know, instructive in here. View, notes. Compiler. Player search by ID. And I think I actually, oh, that's right. I think I thought of one thing I wanted to put here. I was thinking of something else with locked. No, I forgot what it was. But one of the things I could put here would be maybe a note about, well, I guess if you're playing with it, you'll figure out it's currently touched. I'm just a little bit surprised how much stuff we saw back here. I guess people have been going back there. Yeah, any of these other things could turn into deeper dives. So we're still crunching away. We're still on 156, so not that much farther. But I'm just kind of saying, hey, we're doing some development. Let's do some development. But I do want to go to bed, and it's probably would never be too bad to go to bed a little bit early sometimes and get some rest. Because I still kind of get that I just want to close my eyes feeling sometimes. We pretty much got done what we wanted to do. It's just waiting for uploads now. So thanks for watching. I don't know if I don't usually deal with a whole lot of code stuff that I don't have anything to recommend. Thanks to subscribers. Thanks for the people who hosted me. Yeah, this needs a refresh. Let's see. We've got, if you're a one life person but adrenaline's on, that's what I'm usually on, so I guess I'm usually doing only later than this, but like I said, it never hurts to get to bed a little early. Do we have anything code related tonight? I don't necessarily have a whole lot of people in that category at this time. Okay, there's a possibility. Yeah. If you're looking for someplace cool to hang out. Ashley's working on a accessible alert box for React.
I'll have to store what the...
And Twitch is not doing default mute anymore. They used to be pretty good about, like, if your dashboard's open, then... Of course, then I would open up random streams and it would be muted, so... Gain some, lose some. If you're looking to say it's cool to hang out, yeah, they just said what Ashley's doing. Sounds like some pretty cool stuff. I've only done the very, very basic accessibility, you know, a few tags here and there. I'm not sure how deep she's going, but always good work. That's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Good night, and until next time.